Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Charles. I want to welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamerspro Show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and where we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. And in today's episode, I got an interesting one for you. And the topic is Stephen A. Smith finally breaks his silence on Max Kellerman leaving ESPN First Take. So that's the topic I want to get into in today's video. But before we get into that, I want you guys to please make sure you go ahead and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and hit the notification bell to be notified whenever we drop our content. The big news in the sports world, at least in the NBA, has been the news surrounding Max Kellerman and Stephen A. Smith. We recently found out, we did a live on this, about a 45-minute live or so, where we discovered that Max Kellerman, in fact, will be leaving ESPN First Take. And some of the reports that we read, I read it from Fox News at this time via Outkick.com, and basically they were saying that the best kept secret in sports circles is that Stephen A. Smith doesn't like Max Kellerman, right? And they basically said that whatever Stephen A. Smith wants, he gets at ESPN. Now, we all know he's the face of that network. He's certainly their highest paid employee, and he has tenure, at that network. He's been there for quite some time, and of course, he has decades of experience in sports. So no one is surprised that he's paid that much. We did a video where we outlined sort of how Stephen A. Smith got to that position, working on ESPN First Take, where originally it was Skip Bayless on what was it, Cold Pizza, and then I think it was First Things First, and then they ultimately branded it into ESPN First Take, right? And Skip Bayless was the main staple on the show, and then ultimately, Stephen A. Smith was brought on, and they went 50-50, and then ultimately Skip Bayless, left, went to go be with FS1, where he started working with Shannon Sharpe, and then Stephen A. Smith became the face of the show. And then ultimately, Max Kellerman was the guy that replaced Stephen A. Smith. Now, all throughout the years, I have said that I felt like the relationship between Max Kellerman and Stephen A. Smith was quite awkward. I didn't see the same type of chemistry that I saw between Stephen A. Smith and Skip Bayless, or even to an extent between Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharpe, right? They seemed a little bit more natural, whereas the relationship with Stephen A. Smith, the chemistry rather, on TV with Stephen A. Smith and Max Kellerman seemed a bit contrived. It seemed that there was some genuine disdain for Max on certain occasions, at least on TV. Like, these guys really didn't like each other. And I felt like a lot of times Stephen A. Smith was a little bit too demonstrative when he was talking to Max Kellerman, a little bit too forceful when he was talking to him, where I felt like he was crossing the line sort of as a man. Some people tried to say, oh, no, that's how men talk. Again, this is not how men talk to each other. This is how men that don't respect other men talk to other men. Generally, men that respect each other, this is not how you talk to, that's not how you talk to a friend, right? That's not how you talk to a colleague at work that you work with. So what are we talking about here? This is how men talk. There was an audio where Stephen A. Smith addressed the news that Max Kellerman will be leaving ESPN First Take ultimately to go do his thing, which I heard yesterday. So before I go too far, I want you guys to take a listen to Stephen A. Smith basically explaining what's going on with him and Max Kellerman. So before I go too far, take a listen to that.
Max is supposedly leaving. That's a rumor that's going on. Supposedly you two you don't really like him is what the rumor is out there, but y'all work together. Sometimes that's what happens. Is he really leaving the show?
Those reports about me disliking Max are an absolute lie. I actually got a lot of love for the guy. I think that he's incredibly smart. He's intelligent and what have you. Any issues that we've had pertaining to the actual debate show per se, it's some of the things that I've been very public about, as well as he is. He has a way of doing things. I have another way. But I can assure you, if he stays on the show, so be it. If he departs, it'll be because they have other things that they want him to do, that he's more than qualified to do on an elevated level. And you don't work with somebody for 5 years and never have any differences. But our differences were strictly as it pertained to a particular debate item that we may have tackled or whatever the case may be.
Now, in that soundbite, Stephen A. Smith says that, listen, first of all, he has nothing against Max Kellerman personally. Nothing against him. He said he has a respect for him as far as, a person, and, I think they have a cordial relationship. But he said that they have different ways of doing things. Now, that right there is a little bit, ambiguous. It's a little bit unclear. It's very vague. Different way of doing things in terms of what that, I don't know what they mean by that. If he meant that they have genuine differences when it comes to certain topics on TV, then I think that that's a good thing. Because the more contrasting the views are, the better the debate. At least that's what Skip Bayless says. He said there's some genuine, topic items that him and Shannon Sharpe completely disagree on. Like Shannon Sharpe thinks LeBron James is the greatest player of all time, and Skip Bayless doesn't. So there's going to be genuine disagreement, which makes it good for TV. So when he says that, I'm not really quite sure what it is. And I remember some people in the past said, no, it's just TV. And I said, listen, if these guys were such good actors on TV, they'll be working in Hollywood right now. They'll be working on, they'll be making millions of dollars, working on motion pictures. Nobody acts that well, right? I said that something was a little bit off there, right? So he went on to say that he said the position that Max Kellerman is going to take, I think he's going to end up having his own show around boxing or whatever it is. He said that he feels that he's absolutely competent. He has, he has 100% confidence in Max Kellerman to go out there and, do a sensational job in his new role. But he feels as if that ultimately they weren't a perfect pairing. Now, for me, I think this could possibly set up a possible reunion between himself and Skip Bayless. Some people say how. Well, we did a video recently on our channel 2 days ago. It's called Shocking Audio, revealing why Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharpe may be coming to an end sooner than you think, where Skip Bayless basically gives his thoughts on a possible reunion with Stephen A. Smith, and he said that's something he'll be open to doing, right? So if you guys missed that video, just go on our channel. We published it 2 days ago, so you guys can just go check it out and see for yourself. And we will link it in the end of this in the description, so you guys can definitely check that out, because where Skip Bayless basically openly says that that's something that he would be very, very open to doing, which reconnecting with Stephen A. Smith, which I think is something that is possible. Now, he just signed a new deal with Fox Sports. I don't know how long the deal is. I think it's a 4-year deal, if I'm not mistaken. So I don't know how that's going to work out, given the fact that Skip Bayless, I think, is 69 years old. So he's not exactly a spring chicken. So, but anyway, that has nothing to do with what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that after listening to what Stephen A. Smith had to say, I think that he's being honest. Obviously, he didn't come out there and say every single thing because he doesn't have to. But I generally think that these guys just went out a good match. I think that Stephen A. Smith generally didn't have respect for Max. And I think Max Kellerman knew that Stephen A. Smith was a star of the show, and he couldn't try to ultimately show him up on TV, right? Because he's still the boss. And Stephen A. Smith has said to Max Kellerman on numerous occasions, listen, bro, I'm the head honcho here. So I think, it was inevitable. I didn't expect it to happen this soon, but it looks like this relationship is over. And I guess we have to wait and see who's going to be the next partner with Stephen A. Smith on the show, or ultimately it's just going to be him. Similarly, the way, Skip Bayless was the main staple on Cold Pizza, where he would invite different people on, like Chris Broussard, Rob Parker, and also Stephen A. Smith. So I guess we have to wait and see. So what I want to know from you guys is, what are your thoughts on this on the situation, as a whole, and whatever you guys think, please leave your thoughts and comments in the comments section below. Again, if you enjoyed the video, be sure to make sure you go ahead and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and hit the notification bell to be notified whenever we drop our content. Once again, this is Charles here from Dreamerspro, wishing you guys an amazing day, and catch you guys on the next episode.